Hillary, it hurts me to say this as a Catholic, a Christian, but she doesn't really have any redeeming values. She doesn't. I'm sorry. And when people, I know people that still like them, and they're like, well, that's just your opinion. I'm like, yeah, it's my opinion based on history. Yeah. She's crazy evil. She's a dictator. She screams and yells at people, and she can't even tell you why. Wow. Come on. If you're under that much, if that's the way you handle pressure, find another lifestyle.
Yeah, imagine being a president. Yeah, so let's move on to kind of Hillary and your not your hatred to her, because you just
no, I don't hate her.
No, I know you lived through it. You saw.
Yeah.
Listen, I've worked in. It's different. I've worked in a corporate job and this and that, where it was ran by a dictator, but everyone else, all the clients, everyone knew and thought that it was fucking, peaches and cream. Like, it was easy, it was smooth, it was fun to work there. It's totally miserable, hated it, getting screamed at every day. So like, I can only imagine on that level, you know what I mean? So kind of, but like how you reverted earlier to you kind of like scoping my house out, making sure everything's legit. Like, the Clintons, I know, and me and my buddies always talk about it on my conspiracy episodes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are like, we're scared of the Clintons because you know what I mean. They have that body count and stuff like that. So I can only imagine someone who writes a book about them. Right. What the fuck, man?
So the old Richard Nixon's Secretary of State was the hell's his name? He's still alive. He had a Russian name. Not Yashevsky. Anyway, he was famous for saying, somebody was asking him a question about Nixon being paranoid, and he said, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you. So,
shit.
So here's my thing on the take on the Clintons. When I first was asked to write this book, my co-writer, Grant Schmidt, he's a graduate from Temple Film School. It was about 2013 or 14. He needed a new project. He had this small film company called Flynn Films. He'd done some videos.
Commercials and all that stuff.
Yeah, did a really good Holocaust video on the Holocaust. Most of Grant's family's Jewish, and his mother's side of the family, which is Jewish, most of them didn't survive the Holocaust.
Oh, wow.
So, it did definitely a sensitive subject.
Yeah, passion project for sure.
Passion, that's perfect.
Yeah, I'm a filmmaker too. So
right. So he did one, and they went to Israel, and basically they interviewed who was still living there and left, and who ran to Israel after they survived the Holocaust.
That's sick.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Well,
shit.
It was cool though. It was and there was some funny, heartwarming stuff in it. So anyway, that's who Grant is. So he comes to me and he says, "Hey, my parents and I have this ideal. We want you." It's like 2013 or 14. We want you to write your life story, and I'm going to help you do it.
Sure.
It's going to be a great, successful book. And I'm like, no, it's not going to happen. And he's like, what? I said, I'm not interested. You don't know what you're asking. It's a tough time for myself, my wife. You don't have a clue what you're asking. Oh, it'd be this and that. So his parents, they invited me up to dinner at their house. They live outside of Philadelphia, close to where I am. His dad's not a neurosurgeon. His dad is a orthopedic oncologist and a surgeon, and orthopedic surgeon and an oncologist. And they live a very high lifestyle.
Oh yeah.
They are blue collar rich, I call it. They work. I mean, this poor guy does 40 surgeries a month. Yeah. And he's 60, got to be pushing 64.
Jesus.
Great people. Anyway. So I'm like, you don't understand what you're asking, but they're good friends, and I've known them for a long time. I've actually met them at the White House.
So you trust them?
I do. We hunt together. We vacation together. They're very generous. And so anyway, I'm like, all right, here's what I'll do. I'm going to eat your steak and drink your booze, and we're going to talk about it. I'll give you 4 months. And in 4 months, you have to use that time to do a little research and realize what you're asking me. Yeah. 2, I'm not even sure I can do it legally. I'm pretty sure, but I'm not sure. I said, and 3, why do I want to torture my wife again? And they're like, what? I said, this was horrendous for Jenny. Yeah. We were pregnant with our first child, Elizabeth. It was a nightmare. People were knocking on our doors, reporters. Yeah, there may have been. There may have been, but like I don't. And this goes to your just to remind you, your original question is kind of about the Clintons and my fear of them, or do I have a fear of them? And I didn't then. And when I decided to write the book, I decided nothing happened to me till the time the book came out. As soon as it came out, I was fine because I wasn't trying to burn down everybody. Sure. I told the truth. I talked about what was already public, for the most part, Nothing classified, nothing to upset the security services of the United States. I mean, the Secret Service, I'm sure would love to burn me in effigy.
Yeah.
And that may be a little overstated, but you know what I mean. They're not happy about it.
Yeah, of course.
But they it is what it is. The Air Marshal Service, same thing, because most of the management came from the Secret Service, and we'll talk about that later.